NBA playoffs, to a large degree, just getting started, right? First round series, and a guy who has been so involved in so many important games. A big part of the news on Friday, Gregg Popovich officially stepping down as a San Antonio Spurs head coach. He's been involved with the team and been president of the facility in the recent days, and he's going to continue to be a vital member of the franchise's day-to-day operations. Mitch Johnson, named acting head coach after a stroke Pop suffered in November, will be the head coach permanently. Reaction from the head coaches and more players before and after tonight's game by the Bay.
Pop's going to kill me for wearing this shirt. He's going to call me a hapless rube for wearing this shirt. I've got a lot of mixed emotions today, mainly just my love for Pop, my empathy for him, for what he's gone through, for the Spurs organization, all of the above.
He does it his way, and the first thing he would tell you is you have to be yourself and not try to copy somebody, be who they are. And so we all go about it different ways, but the foundation of coaching and the day-to-day lessons, like I mentioned, those always stick with you.
Literally, like one of the greatest to do it, arguably the greatest to do it. And there's different kinds of leaders. And I think what was always so amazing about Pop was just how he led. People have different leadership styles, but I thought he always got the absolute most out of his roster.
He's one of the most incredible human beings. You know, you get this this wall that everyone sees. You know how everybody say, everyone says Steven Adams a gentle giant. That's Pop. Like, you got this wall that's like, you ask a dumb question, he's gonna crush you, right? And it just appears as if he's like this mean old man. And he is the complete opposite. Complete opposite. The nicest person you ever wanna be around. He cares about people so much. To know that I'll never get that opportunity again, I just wish I had one last time to go hug him on the sideline before a game. I know I sound like he's dead, he's not, but he's meant so much to this league, and he means so much to me. His job well done, well-deserved retirement. I hope he enjoys the hell out of it. Clearly, he's not going far because he's going to stay working in basketball. But, man, just everything he's meant to this game. And I'm incredibly grateful that I had the opportunity to play for him.
That's the kind of pure perspective that you get. It belongs just to that group. The numbers speak for themselves. 1,422 career wins, the most of any coach in the history of the league. 5 titles tied for the third most. All 29 of his years coaching were with the Spurs. 19 of them, he won 50 or more games.
One big thing.
In the decades of doing this job, of the legends and all the all-time greats who play and coach their respective sports, I think Gregg Popovich is singular. There's really nobody else quite like him, is there? His wiring is fascinating. His fingerprints all over the history of the NBA forever, by virtue of his own accomplishments and those who've learned from him just a few seats down throughout the years. The game Friday evening between Golden State and Houston featured a couple of Pop disciples from his massive coaching tree in Steve Kerr and Ime Udoka, both of whom share the deep appreciation of Pop's impact on the trajectory of both their lives and careers. What's the secret to it all? According to Udoka from Jason Quick's brilliant profile in The Athletic, 2 words: relationships and accountability. Couldn't be simpler or make more sense, right? Invest in your people as people first and be accountable to them. And what does that create? The buzzword of the moment: culture. The ability to adapt, also vital if you're going to have staying power, and Pop did that as well. From the same Quick profile on Friday, the story of Kevin Durant spending, by his estimates, about an hour trying to convince Pop during the 2021 Olympic run to gold that they had to switch everything on defense. Pop protested, then relented, and it made the team better. And that's what the most successful people in any endeavor do. They yield to the best idea, even if they're not the one who came up with it. It's what makes Pop, in the eyes of Eric Spoelstra, quote, a generational leader. What I always took note of was the massive respect he had for his opponents and that they had for him. You saw very different interactions from him with rival players and coaches than with, say, sideline reporters for the in-game interview. The smiles and warmth between his peer group spoke to the understanding that they shared which belonged to them and nobody else outside of it. Relationships and accountability, two important words. But maybe not as important to two other words. To quote Pop himself, food and wine. This is just a job. That was his answer to a question about his legacy more than a decade ago. Baxter Holmes has a spectacular profile from 2020 that details the importance of food and wine to his life. For a man I have never once spoken with and have always been curious about, this profile explains a whole lot. Because Pop doesn't just enjoy food and wine, he understands them. The wine matters deeply to him. So do the restaurants. He's very well known in the very best of them around the country. He's meticulous about the setup of the room for dinners, curating it, if you will, to create intimacy and help forge bonds. It's fascinating. As Pau Gasol said in Holmes' profile, quote, "I haven't been a part of that anywhere else." With the wine comes a toast. One last quote from Quick's profile: "Every first toast, every time, according to Steve Kerr, is the same. Here's to Tim Duncan," which speaks to the humility of Popovich and his understanding that 5 titles and more wins than anybody who has ever done the job before does not happen if the Spurs don't win the lottery and get Tim Duncan. And that may well be true. But I raise a glass and say, here's to you, Pop. Those you taught will continue to carry on your legacy, but your kind won't come this way ever again.
Wanna try to boast at what I look like, pick them James, how they wear, I pull up long range, no, Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire, it's NBA on ESPN time.